Hello, I'm Terry David Mulligan, and this is the Mulligan Stew Podcast, getting close to episode 200. We'll tease you with I don't even want to tease you with the name of the guest. Just know that it was a delight when we discovered that we could do it. We could talk to the guest. The guest this week is Sarah McLachlan. The really cool thing about being in this business, being a broadcaster and interviewer, is that you can get to actually watch the story of an artist unfold and capture it, and then you send them on their way and they become stars. Bryan Adams for one. Sarah McLachlan for another. Sarah arrived in Vancouver in the mid-'80s from Halifax, Nova Scotia, one coast to the other, to 5,000 kilometers or more away, time zones and everything, lifestyle. But she was discovered by Mark Jowett from Mauve, who was signed to Network Records, and Terry McBride signed her to a 5-year contract without ever having heard her songs, just her voice. They waited Sarah's mother and father wanted her to finish high school and take a year in arts college. Anyway, this first interview is with her Halifax Hair in 1988. And I hold up the first album that she released called Touch. It's on cassette. So we're time-stamping this. Just to get a sense of Sarah before anything had really happened for her or to her in terms of the music business. The second interview is 1992. She's released Solace, her first album, really, the one we showed you. And no, she had released Solace in 91. And Fumbling towards Ecstasy was about to come out the next year. She was working on those songs. So her life was going to change, because then came stardom, Lilith Faire, 6 other albums, at least 6, 40 million in sales worldwide, and a career and fame, and Grammys and Junos and all sorts of things. So Sarah, if you're watching, if you happen to stumble across this, why am I showing this? Is because it kind of captures the moment just before your life completely changed. Enjoy. And happy birthday, Sarah. She was 54 years old, January the 28th of 2022. Enjoy. This little black beauty here is the first release by Sarah McLachlan. This is, it's called Touch, and it has been out how long now?
About 3 weeks.
Are you excited?
Oh yeah, I think so. I'm trying to be.
Welcome to Much West.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
You grew up in the Maritimes.
Yep, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
How did you get here?
Well, about 4 years ago, I met Mark Jowett. I was in a band called the October Game,
yeah.
And we opened for Mauve. And they were just starting out as a network. That was basically the first network band. Yeah. And they came to Halifax and we opened for them, and Mark heard me sing and wanted me to join Mauve. And I was 17, and my parents didn't think too highly of the situation, so I didn't come out to Vancouver then like I was hoping to, just for a couple of weeks, to do demos or something. Yeah. That didn't happen, but we kept in touch, and about May of '86, Terry McBride came down with Skinny Puppy, and basically out of the blue offered me a 5-year contract. And I was just finished a year of university or college, and basically had nothing to do, so I said, sure. Wonderful opportunity. Can't pass it up. So.
Did you think that you'd ever make a career out of music?
Well, I always wanted to, but I didn't have any, hopes of getting a record contract. That wasn't sort of in the picture until it just sort of came up out of nowhere. So.
But the deal was, in order to be on network, you had to be in Vancouver.
No, I didn't have to be. I wanted to be. I could have worked out of Halifax. I desperately wanted to get out of Halifax.
Were you still singing then?
Yes, yeah. I was taking voice lessons as well. I had been for the past about 4 or 5 years.
That's always bothered me about the Maritimes, because there's so much music being played out there. And I keep thinking that's where the next big break is going to be, but it never happens. Why?
Well, people just don't seem to be that interested in new music. There's
Covers.
yeah,
Because you can make your
you can make
money.
so much money. There's hundreds of bars in Halifax, and everybody plays top 40, and no one will hire anybody that's not top 40. So unless you play covers, you don't get anywhere. And unless you move to Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver.
Yeah, it's
So.
sad
It
because it
is.
could be a great scene.
Yeah.
This Touch album is very good, and you have some friends who help you with it. Can we run down just, for example, some of the musicians who appear on Vox, the video?
There's me, and there's Darren Phillips, and Roscoe Hayes, yes, and Kevin Kane from the Grapes of Wrath,
Right.
David Kershaw from the Water Walk, Stephen Nikleva from Red Herring,
Right. Tippy, Steve, and Rudy
yeah,
on
Tippy,
percussion.
Steve, and Rudy from Tippy A Go-Go and the Wingnuts.
Okay, so basically you've gathered around some really fine musicians from Vancouver, and they have helped you put
Yes.
your first release out.
Yes.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all.
Now,
They're
tell me
all
about,
wonderful people too.
people are talking about you. I heard Kim and Michael Williams talking the other day about this buzz about Sarah McLachlan.
It's nice to hear.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I try not to get my hopes up too much, but whatever happens, happens. If something good happens, I'll be very happy. If nothing happens, I'm going to keep working at it.
I think it was Annette Ducharme. I did an interview with her a couple of years back, and I said, why are there no really successful female performers on the West Coast? She said her theory was that it took a complete performer. You had to sing, write, play, arrange, do all of it yourself, and hold on to that creative control. Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I do write most of my own songs, and it's a long process, but I really pride myself in doing most of it myself, or wanting to get it all done myself, and working on the lyrics and everything else, and all the music, and just putting a package together that's mostly me.
Where did you shoot this video?
I was at Witchet Lake. It's up in the mountains.
It's by Pitt Lake, but for those of you who don't understand the Lower Mainland,
I don't know.
It's literally the first thing that you see when you leave on a 747 or something. It's those first set of mountains.
Yeah.
Dermot Shane directed?
Yes.
You lucky duck.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. He's a wonderful man and a good director too.
And you used the same flowers that 5440 did?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
I thought maybe it was the same budget.
Okay.
I think we had a little less of a budget to work on than they did. But I won't talk about that.
It's time to play your video. Are you ready for this? This is for the first time anywhere, from a fine album called Touch, Sarah McLachlan and Vox on Much West in stereo. Thanks.
Thank you.
As promised by her Megagopolis record company, Sarah McLachlan has agreed to appear on the nation's music station, Much Music and Much West in stereo. We have Miss Sarah McLachlan. It is still Miss, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's go back in time and welcome back to Vancouver. Your
Thanks. Been gone too long.
adopted home. You went back to Halifax for the Maritime Music Awards.
Yes, that was a long time.
Ooh, a
ago.
long time
Many
ago.
moons ago now.
Okay, and you picked up female vocalist. And not much else, and I kind of noted that. Let me make a statement here, see if you agree. Well, you got lots of nominations, and you got the female vocalist award, and I kind of thought maybe there was a. Do you think there might have been a backlash that you left Halifax and chose to come to Vancouver?
I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, I mean, I am from Nova Scotia, and but I live in Vancouver, and I don't want to put the two against each other. I mean, I love Vancouver and I love Nova Scotia. I choose to live here. It's sort of, I find, a similar thing to what happens with the Junos, is it seems to be a very Toronto-based kind of thing, and not too many bands outside of Toronto tend to be really focused on at the Junos. Of course, I could be slagged for saying that because I did win. I won a Juno for Best Video, myself and Philip Cates, who directed the video. So, but I'm sure that has a bit to do with it, but that's okay. I mean,
You are having your own year.
Yeah, I mean, I take awards with a grain of salt, really. I mean, I really appreciate getting them, but if I don't, it doesn't really mean anything to me.
Right. I've been trying to follow your recent history as best I can, but without a fax that tells me what the itinerary is, it's almost impossible. You have spent...
You're telling me.
Oh, man. How many dates have you done this year, do you figure?
80... I heard 85. That might be wrong, but I heard 85.
How did Los Angeles go?
Los Angeles, well, 200 of the 900 people showed up because that was the night of the riots.
Yeah.
The beginning of the riots. We're playing in South Central LA, and it was a wonderful show till about halfway through it. I was told that we wouldn't be able to finish because everybody had to go home because the city had been put under curfew and stuff. And I was, well, why? And well, the riots had broken out, and so it was kind of a very strange evening for me. And because I think all of us living in Canada live a relatively sheltered life in comparison to the rest of the world and things that go on every day. And to be so close to something like that, to see the devastation firsthand instead of to see it thousands of miles away on a television screen is you get a real different feeling for it. And it made me really sad. So it was...
And then you went up to San Francisco.
And they followed us up there. Yeah, the next day. So we were certainly glad to get back to Canada.
It does make you appreciate home, doesn't it?
It does, very much. I already appreciate it a lot, but the more you go away and see the situation, state of things elsewhere, I really feel proud to be Canadian.
What other memorable events, as opposed to concerts per se, but events made the year for you?
Oh, let me think. This year has gone by so quickly. Well, let's see. This is only half a year, isn't it, really, when you think of January? I sort of look at my year as being almost finished now because the record came out in June of last year, and I've been touring steady ever since. And
but the response, to on college radio, for example, top 5 in the States, top 3 in some places, great airplay.
Really good, yeah. I had Arista, my record company in the States, has really, really been pushing it. It's
you have
good.
a theory on this? Why now?
As opposed to why not with the first record?
Yeah.
Well, one of my theories is that they didn't have an alternative department and they look at this as an alternative record and they had no idea how to market it. So they just sort of threw it up against the wall and it stuck in small areas. But the States are so big. I mean, we're 1/10 the population. And there's little areas right now where I'm doing very well, but other vast areas where I'm doing absolutely nothing. So it just depends on
The persona that we know you to be here, is it the same in the States? Are they selling you as someone slightly different, or is it pretty well the same?
Oh, you mean marketing-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, the same, I think. Yeah, the same videos are there, the same photos are there, the same. I'm the same person when I do an interview down there as I do
sure?
here. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
That's some different information that I should
tell
be
me
aware
about
of?
Philip Glass.
Oh, I did, on my way home from Europe, I went to New York for a couple of days and did a session with the people who are associated with Philip Glass. Michael Reisman is the musical director, producer of the Philip Glass Ensemble. He came to see me in New York just by accident and decided that I would be good to sing on one of his pieces. They're doing a series of music, and mostly for 6 singers, and there's one solo piece in the series, and they wanted me to do that. And they actually tried 2 other women first, and it wasn't. They weren't. There's a feeling that wasn't quite right, or whether they thought I might be able to do it. So I went to New York and did it. And it was actually really fun. Allen Ginsberg wrote the words.
No.
And so so it's this very, very quiet, introspective, soft. Sitting on a tree stump with half a cup of tea and, looking over the mountains. And I sort of felt really akin to it, really, because, it's sort of my thing about going to the ocean and just watching the waves ebb. It's a real feeling of peace.
You must be happy for the acceptance down there, though.
Yeah.
It's such a tough nut to crack.
It is, I know. And, I might be saying something very different if I wasn't becoming successful anyway, but I just, I'm really, it's really wonderful. I'm really happy.
Okay, in the meantime, it's time to take care of business. So, June 29, 30.
This is me.
This is you in Calgary. Okay. So, July the 1st,
I haven't even
you're in
seen
Edmonton, right?
Yes.
For Canada Day.
Fringe Festival.
Yeah. And then,
Huge open stage out in the street, free concert. It's going to be great.
and then July 3rd, you're going to be at the Orpheum, which I don't think we can quite. There's right over there.
Yeah, it's not
At the Orpheum. Have you played the
Now
Orpheum?
this is
Yes.
exciting
Yes.
for me.
Why?
This is a milestone for me because when I first moved to Vancouver I'm not sure what show it was, I saw at the Orpheum, but I went there and said, this is how I measure my success. When I can go in there and headline. And I've played there twice, but I've played opening for other people, and so I set that goal for myself to go in there and headline, and I'm going to do it. So yay! It's
Cool.
great.
And then, of course, next will be the Dome.
No.
Okay, fine. And then you go to and then you go stateside. You go July 13th through, and you go to New Orleans. You play Tipitina's.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
No
It's,
kidding.
It's kind of if you've seen the Blues Brothers, that country bar
Yes.
with the chicken wire. It's
Yeah.
not
That's
too far
it.
off.
Yeah. And August 19 and 20, you're in Toronto at Molson Place.
Yes.
Well, there's another little milestone in itself. Actually, the whole year and the whole album life has been a milestone. You go back to Europe?
Great. Yeah, I think in September. Go back and hopefully play some more gigs. I did mostly press this first time around. Played in London and in Scotland, and in Spain for a week at Expo.
Ooh.
Did my Canadian thing at
Can
the
I ask you
Canadian
about that
Pavilion.
for a second?
Sure. What do you want to?
After I looked at the lineup, I thought of all of the other people that we could have sent with you. I kind of wondered. I thought maybe whoever did the booking kind of sold the industry short. That there were so many other people I would have sent.
Well, I mean, I've talked to the people who did the booking, and I think the reasons for that, a lot of it is simply that most of these people weren't available for the time frame they needed them, and there's been a lot of. I happen to be available, so I went, and I know Blue Rodeo's going, but just for a day. George Fox is playing, and actually, when we left, Saffron Henderson was just flying in to do a week as well, and so and there was a nice other people that stayed at the house, New Earth. They live in Victoria. They were there for a week, so it's you need different kinds of music too. So I think they just basically got who they could.
You want to say hello to anybody back home?
Sure.
Now's your chance.
Hi, Mom and Dad, my brothers, and all my friends who are still there.
Oh, okay. Now we have to play a video. What do you want to play?
Oh, anyone?
Yep.
Any kind? Not me?
No. Oh, we got to play you. You can stick around for the last video in
thought
the
you
show
just-
if you want. No, you can do that. I'll let
Okay,
you pick the next one too. But this one of yours.
One of mine. Ben's song.
Okay. Sarah McLachlan, playing VJ on Much West in stereo.
Sarah McLachlan. 2 moments in time, 1988 and 1992. We hope you enjoyed the conversation with her. And I'm Sarah, if you happen to watch this, I know that you'd rather maybe we burnt these videos, but I just love the way that captured the moment before everything just exploded in your life. It's kind of cool to look back and capture those moments. As a matter of fact, I have found another interview, which we're going to run after 200, the episode rolls by. There's another really good one from the Jazz Festival. I think you're going to like it. Next week on Mulligan's Stew Podcast, Los Lobos. I think backstage at the Commodore Ballroom. And after La Bamba had hit, and I just wanted to talk to the guys about how they were going to get around, well, not so much get around, how they're going to deal with the success of La Bamba and then getting on with other music. So that, because they knew, and we all knew, that people were going to be hung up on La Bamba. Meanwhile, they had a new album coming out, and maybe it would be ignored because of the success of the film and La Bamba. So next week, Los Lobos on the Mulligan's Stew Podcast. Please subscribe, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. Thank you for listening. Check us out, mulliganstew.ca. Thank you.